Good morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. Here's what you need to know. A massive cyber attack from China is on the way. It is fully expected to come when they attempt to invade Taiwan. Now, a lot of things have been going on. There's been a lot of drills there. But the latest thing is that the Chinese military is checking every ship that is going around Taiwan there, back and forth across the border, and Taiwan doesn't want to comply with that. And China has all the assets in place for the war. China wants to take Taiwan, and China wants to do it soon. They believe they have a weak president in President Biden, who is simply trying to appease the Chinese nation. And they know if the Republicans get in power, if Trump gets in power, it's not going to be an easy time taking Taiwan. It's going to be a completely different story. So they have a short time limit, and Russia knows this too in terms of Russia, Ukraine. But there's a short time limit there to act and to potentially have success. So they got to do it while Biden is still in power. And some expect the Taiwan invasion to happen indeed this year. Now you're looking at Ezekiel 38 and 39, and I'll tell you why this ties in. This is Ezekiel 38, KJV from BibleGateway.com. And I've spoken about this before, but I want to show the verses. Verse 13, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof. Now the merchants of Tarshish, this is referring to Britain, or the area of Britain, with all the young lions. The speculation is that that means the offspring of the British, of Britain. And who are the offspring of Britain? The colonies of Britain. Well, Australia, Canada, United States. These are all offspring. Now, there's other countries as well. But these countries, Sheba, Dedan, merchants of Tarshish, and all the young lions. And what are they saying? Art thou come to take a spoil? This is basically the West, in large measure, I believe what it's speaking to there. And they're asking questions of the invading forces, Gog and Magog, on Israel, but they're not coming to help Israel. Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Sounds like something has happened in the world which has caused a hook in the jaw, to where a country wants to come into Israel and not just take it out, but take all its wealth, take all its food. Seems to be coming at a time maybe where there's great famine, great war in the world, and Israel happens to have that abundantly. And it seems that these nations aren't coming to back up Israel. They're just kind of saying stuff, and I speculate at the United Nations are saying, what are you doing, Gog, Magog? If that be Russia, what are you doing, Russia? Are you coming to take a spoil? But they're not coming to the help of Israel. So that's where I get that text and that idea that these nations, basically the West, and you can boil that down to United States, something happens to them where they are not actively involved in Middle East conflicts after a certain point. And the question is, what happens? Do they get taken out by cyber attack, by nuclear forces, nuclear weapons? What happens to them? Do they just not have the political will? Well, the political will certainly isn't there. Biden doesn't like Netanyahu, doesn't like Israel. So that's not there at all. But what else could happen? Well, this is an article from Newsmax.com. Representative Gallagher. Taiwan invasion would start with a cyber attack on the United States. And we know Cyber Polygon, we know they predicted a cyber attack on the United States. That whole exercise does, just like Event 201 predicted a pandemic. And so let's look at this, because this is critical. This is interesting. And if it's a cyber attack, it's going to take much more out than nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons would take a couple cities, would take some military installations, but you take out the electronics, the computers, the communication, and what you have is a absolute Mad Max, every man for himself situation in the West. We don't know how to survive without technology. Our civilization runs on tech, computers, chips, engines, GPS tracking systems. The supply chain, the food supply chain, relies on GPS tracking systems. Without technology, without water, without computer chips, if they were taken out in some way, shape, or form, it would absolutely be Mad Max. And basically prevent the United States or Western countries from supporting Israel. They wouldn't have the ability to do anything at all. A leading House Republican is warning China is going to conduct widespread cyber attacks on American infrastructure. Now, is that happening right now? Was it Southwest Airlines had a computer glitch that shut down the airline for the better part of the morning a couple days ago? That was just a coincidence, right? That wasn't a cyber attack. There was a fire where it was down in Texas that killed 18,000 cows. Unheard of, unprecedented. Of course, no cyber attack there, I'm sure. No sabotage. That was just a coincidence, right? But the Chinese, the Russians, they have every interest to go after basic, simple things: supply chain, fuel, energy, depots, and all that sort of thing. If Xi Jinping moves on Taiwan, we should assume he'll launch cyber attacks against the United States as part of the operation. This will likely include attacks on our electrical grid, water systems, communications infrastructures, especially near key military installations. This is the easiest way to take us out, folks. You don't have to kill a person. They don't have to kill a person directly. They just have to take us out, in terms of our technology. Again, no nuclear weapons dropped. Just take out the technology, and we are done, folks. We are done. Think about every day, everything that you use that uses technology or computer chips: your phone, your microwave, your fridge, your freezer, your cars these days that you have lots of onboard computer systems, your watch. Every way you communicate, again, telephones, your computers, you check your email, your iPads, every single thing you do. The water system, the domestic water system in a town or city is computer controlled. If you don't have those computers controlling it, you don't have the pumps pumping the water up into the water tower, and you quickly run out of water. You don't have computer systems to manage traffic lights. Hospitals are down because how many pieces of equipment are all computerized, to check your heart rate and all these things. It would, effectively collapse us as a society. So really we're talking about right now as a possibility of accidental conflict, because China wants to cause an accident. They want to kill. Kind of sounds like United States in Ukraine. They have no interest. United States has no interest in stopping the war there. It's an existential threat. They want to wear Russia down, and Russia's wearing the United States down in the same way. They know better. They really want to go to war. Joe Biden and his administration has been going with an appeasement approach that just is not curbing Chinese saber rattling. That trial balloon, says Chang, this person, that really was a show of utter disrespect for the United States, that they think they could fly that large object over Air Force bases, over strategic nuclear deterrent sites. What did we do? We did, the United States do. They did absolutely nothing. Canada did absolutely nothing. They let it fly over. They could have shot it down over Canada, could have shot it down over the United States. They let it fly. Why? Are they allowing this to happen? You got to really ask the question, what are the intelligence communities and military doing? This is their sole job, to protect us, and they're allowing a spy satellite over the country, and they did nothing about it. And that was sending real-time images and information to China. It luckily wasn't storing anything on board. It was probably just sending real-time data directly to Chinese military, and that's common knowledge now. It says what we have is a Chinese regime that thinks the U.S. is no longer a factor. The fact that we couldn't decide in a timely manner to take out spy balloons that are simply floating at the speed of wind across our country means that the military of Canada, U.S., and Western countries is an absolute joke. They have no interest in protecting or doing anything. Hacks of U.S. infrastructure might cripple any potential American response. This is the thing. They're going to take us out before a march on Taiwan. They know we will retaliate and support Taiwan, so there's going to be a massive cyber attack to cripple us, at least to point the country politically inward, to make them look inward because of the chaos happening inward, with plausible deniability. So there's no political appetite or no interest to protect Taiwan at that point. And I believe that's the case. That's the easiest way for China and Russia to take the Western countries out. Cyber attack, again, plausible deniability. Oh, we didn't do it. It was some criminal organization. And they don't have to kill a person. They just have to take out our electronics. Among the cyber targets, according to the report, military, transportation networks, energy, so, fuel depots, gas stations that prevent us from pumping, prevent us from offloading fuel or calculating, or simply prevent us from being able to purchase. Maybe the Interact systems go down, no one can purchase it, and everybody would have to use cash. And how fast would cash run out if that occurred? Water. The water infrastructure, again, taking out the electronic control systems that run the well pumps for cities, and the monitoring systems. Business and financial markets, crash the markets in New York, the computer systems that run the markets, and there will be absolute chaos. If Beijing feared that a major conflict with the United States were imminent, if Beijing feared that, it almost certainly would consider undertaking aggressive cyber operations against U.S. homeland critical infrastructure and military assets worldwide. And this is really the thinking of Russia as well. As soon as Russia believed that the war was going to go hot with the United States, the first thing they would do is take out communications, take out satellites. Cyber attack, as other experts have said, will be the first thing that you see happen before major war breaks out. If you see a major coordinated cyber attack, and the government isn't telling you much, the mainstream media news isn't telling you much about it, other than speculation, buckle up, disconnect all your computers, disconnect your internet, disconnect everything you have from, again, the internet, the grid, that is critical, including like power supplies, maybe solar panels or solar systems. Disconnect everything you have, and because there could be a cyber attack coming inbound, a massive electromagnetic pulse, or some other hack, which they need connection to the internet or the electrical grid to destroy items with. So be prepared, folks. I've been saying, this sort of thing is the easiest way for them to take out the United States, and indeed, this will be the first thing that will happen when Russia or China or both decide, this is it. This is our chance to pounce, to take out the United States as a world reserve currency, as the world superpower, and to rise in the new world order as superpowers, Russia and China. And it appears to me that in Ezekiel 38 and 39, there doesn't seem to be the United States is not mentioned. That's simply one thing. But it's in terms of references, it seems as though there is no interest to support Israel politically, or possibly they simply can't. All they can do is say some words, and that may be because they've been taken out. And it could be that they were taken out with a massive coordinated cyber attack at some point prior to Ezekiel 38 and 39. And I think this is one of the prophecies that is going to come prior to the 7-year period. And that means, how much closer is a massive coordinated cyber attack or other event, a thermonuclear war or something, taking out Western countries. Be prepared, folks. This is coming fast, and it seems like China knows what the answer is, how to take us out. Russia knows how to take us out. They're just waiting for the time, for the when they believe the time is right. Thanks for watching. Be prepared. We'll see you in the next video.